And the fact that, they let this Valentina through, what I'm wondering too is what if, right? What if Indonesia, depending on how these last couple bans come out, what if they're like, all right, well, they got the Far, so now we want actually the Valentina. Let's go ahead and park Novaria in Vin's hands, take up the Valentina. So we also have a feathered airstrike. Now it's even worse, right? Because you're dealing with artillery, you're dealing with poke. That could happen here. So let's see exactly how these last couple bans come through. That was the Lancelot taken out from Indonesia. Great choice because the jungle for Philippines is not up yet. And if you remember, back on day 2, I think it was, Philippines played this Lancelot with the Imperial Rage emblem, and that was it was a great way to play it, right? It's a different factor than the killing spree which we usually see. So solid choice there. Last ban from the Philippines is going to be that export. They're tired of dealing with what they had to the previous game, right?
Just need to respect that.
They have to respect it. They take it out.
Okay, we have the XP lane ban, also the Angela. They were kind of sensing it. Indonesia sensing it, like, they ban out the Angela, they might go for a sustain. But one thing that we actually see, the Assassin. I was kind of feeling it. I was kind of feeling that either Philippines would prioritize on that, but it was mostly onto the XP, as you mentioned early on. So no Assassins. What's good here for Philippines as well, they can actually take the Fredrin again. Good pair with the Charisma, good pair, and also a counter for the Beatrix. I say it's still a good pick. Fredrin for Philippines. You have the taunt, you have the tankiness.
It's kind of like it's usually what teams just go when they're against Baksha,
Yeah, but not regularly on the second phase.
Yeah.
On the picking.
Well, like, we've seen it maybe a couple times, but if you want to be a little risky, again, you're down just 1-0 in the series, you still have plenty of time. Do you want to go with that risk reward? You could pick up a Assassin in the jungle if you really want to, if you really want to compete that way. But they don't do it. They pick up the Fredrin. They opt for that utility, that safety. Again, you're up against a Baksha. The downside of Assassins into a Baksha especially is obviously it's going to be really difficult for you to have some of those prolonged Lord fights or even Turtle fights early on, right? Because you'll easily get whittled down. So a solid choice here. Let's see what the answer is from Indonesia. Like we said, we still have to see exactly where this Novaria is fitting in. We already have the jungle, we already have the gold lane. We need the XP and the roam or mid option for Indonesia. If they end up picking up the Valentina, that will be an interesting composition that we've seen actually work really well before.
Glue is good though.
Glue for the XP lane.
Glue for the XP for Indonesia is still good, but they're going for the Minotaur. Okay, knock up, you have a disable for the Claude. Trying to get the precision. Okay. A different way. We have EXP.
This is that lineup I was telling you about. OSX. The tanky boys. The beefy boys. Like this is it, right? Because
beefy boys and a cow.
Well, literally, yes. There is a.
We're in Yash.
Yes, and here's the thing. We only saw Minotaur once, I think it was, which was yesterday in the hands of Maro, right? And we did not get to see how useful a Minotaur could be because, yeah, he had some great, setups, flicker ins with the Minoan Fury, but at that point when they were utilizing it, there was no follow-up, right? But this time, it's in the hands here of, once again, some of the best players in the world, if not the best. So now, how does this get rounded out from the Philippines?
Atlas.
Yeah, they might want to go with something also tankier here to help them round this out. Wow, not what I was expecting. They go with a roam Valier.
There's 2 mages.
Interesting.
Okay, yeah, disable. You have a complete debuff. You have a complete pushback on this cow, on this Minotaur, and also for the Grok. Even for the Baksha. There's a lot of ways to secure the border because that was the problem in game number 1. Yeah. How do you protect that? How do you have the border control if you're up against a lineup that's so short on damage that is building up on the late game? I think it's a good path again for Philippines.
Yeah.
And it's having a good jump start for the early game. Paired with Farsa, paired with Valier, I think that's good.
The only thing that, Valier is great because of just the way that his kit works, his mechanics. He's throwing fireballs. You land a couple in a row, you get a stun off, you can push the enemy team back. And, you really have to be on point for the most part with your fireballs and everything, but also once that kit is up, you're kind of just running around for the most part, right? So really has to scale into this game.
Yeah,
Valier in a way is a little bit of a risky choice, but we'll find out, right? We are going to get a little bit longer here to talk about this because Valier is not typically a hero you see pop up. Usually teams do like to pick this up though if they're dealing even with a Terizla, for example, because of the animation with the penalty zone is so like slow motion that he just torrents them away, pushes
He has a
them
heavy
away.
hammer. If we break down the animation of the Terizla, you just need to make that surprise.
Yeah.
And it's always about the flicker combo that you were mentioning, because if that flicker is gone, you lose the element. You lose the surprise.
The element.
Either you use your swinging hammer to just use it for either evade or escape, or even poke down the members of the enemy. But just having the right amount of burst, who's actually or can be a great way of a strength in surprises. Well, Canon's doing great work with that. So let's just hand it to him. We're looking over the same 2 picks from Philippines, and for the side, as you said, of Indonesia, beefy boys.
Yeah, this is going to be.
Sustain.
It's going to be hard though, man, because if you just again looking at that lineup, right? Not only the fact that Indonesia's lineup is very tanky, very durable. The same can be said for the Philippines too, as an extent, right? Having this Fredra and having this Terizla, but really that's it. On the other side, Indonesia, not only are they going to be able to peel, they can peel easily for that Beatrix for Sakin here, but they have multiple options to initiate these fights if they want to, right? So if you're really worried here about that CC setup potential, it's the Philippines because of, again, you have a wild charge to work against from Indonesia. You just have Baksha rolling around, looking for sandwich plays, and that's what they usually do. Teams that pick up Baksha early on, not only are they focused on obviously getting the objectives and whatnot, but it's to put pressure in these lanes, top, bottom, sandwich them into a turret, and then usually pick up a kill, right? Not to mention they have a Navaria, man, who we have seen time and time again with just the way you use that Astral Echo, the Astral Recall, you're poking people down. You can really play around that. And one thing that I'm really looking forward to seeing is how this Minotaur works this time in the hands of Vin. Because, like I said, we saw it once yesterday. Didn't work out, right? It was there in essence, but the follow-up wasn't there.
Yeah, follow-up. I think now they have great answers for this Minotaur. You have more ways to actually hit those, even pixels for the knockoff for the Minoan Fury with the aid of the Astral Recall and Astral Echo. But if you're talking about how will they deplete down the defenses of Indonesia's lineup right now, having the Baksha, the Grok, even the Minotaur, I think it all boils down how will the progress of the 2 mage heroes of Philippines will do in early game. You have the poke of the Feather Airstrike hitting level 4.
Yeah.
And with this Valir alone, you can actually visit more of the lanes, so you actually get more vision, and you have more advantage of disabling once you get the pass or you got hit of one of the ultimates.
Well, we're jumping back into the game here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Game number 2. Indonesia drawing first blood in this grand final best of 5. Can the Philippines even it out? You're going to see them really trying to put pressure here early on, utilizing this Valir pick. That's what you see Unigo doing here. He has to be landing these fireballs and everything else. But at the same time, you have a couple defenses, right? And you are quite squishy. You can see it right here, already half health. It's got to be careful.
Yeah, Valir roam early on, you need to be wary of your distance. You need to be wary of your spacing, because at some point early game, Super Ken and Vin with this kind of pair up, you could actually poke a lot out of this Valir. So you need to be careful as well. That's the knock up from Vin, using the concussive blast pass in front, hit him down, fireballs connecting on to Saison, hitting level 4. Will he be able to make it for the Appraiser's Rat? Just continuing that spam, Saison is completely peeling off slowly members of Indonesia.
Again, these burst fireballs, right, are crucial.
Cannon dropping low. Will he be still able to escape this one? Cannon falls down. Cerezo takes the first blood.
Man, it's a revenge, right? It's Cerezo getting the first blood here in that XP lane, dealing with Cannon on this Terizla. So, and to be honestly, we haven't seen too much XP lane Grok, right, for the most part. Before it was rather popular in a lot of other tournaments, but it's kind of fallen off a little bit. We're going to take a look at the replay here. This is kind of how it started again. That's just his death, but it was a well-played maneuver from Indonesia. Now with the first turtle up.
Looks like Vin going to be called off by the stunt. Now with the Astral Recall being placed, Arcangel secures the kill with a Feather Airstrike. Unigo trying to hold in with the border. With the reason of the turtle here, Philippines is looking forward more securely or securing the first objective of this game by just getting that purple out.
Both these gold laners gonna pretty much size each other up in this early game. Turtle's still gonna be worked on here, right? It looks like Philippines wants to go for it, but the response from Indonesia.
Cannon dropping down low on HP. There's a knock-up onto the follow-up of Cerezo's wild charge. Two-man bouncing off on the air. Vin takes down one. Indonesia completely bouncing back with his skirmish. Super Cannon Cerezo takes down Tyson. Follow-up here with the Federal Strike for Arcangel. Will make it through the peel. Completely getting that objective. Indonesia winning that team fight.
Yeah, so again, it's still relatively even, right? But Turtle was secured there by Super Ken. He's been pretty on point for these objectives early on. Great initiation. You know, even Cerezo using that wild charge, great Appraiser's Wrath response, but you can see there's a lack of damage right now. And yes, these are two magic damage dealers, but they still need time to scale up a little bit, right? Right now, economy-wise, pretty even. Nothing too big happening. That is Recutiano picking up a DHS, though. He's got the Demon Hunter sword.
He's not letting go of Cannon right now, using the penalty zone counters, trying to slow him down with a turret sprays down right under the turret. He flickers in.
Wow.
Cannon trying to evade, he's trying to micro and right onto the turret, still sustaining that with protection of his own outer turret energy shields. He lives.
Okay, again, you can see the focus on these XP lanes, right? They want to slow them down as much as possible. And that's the great thing about, anyway, Terizla, right? This XP lane is because of his passive, the Body of Smith. When he gets lower, right, he gets a little more tankier. It's harder to kill him. And at the same time, he's got Brave Smite, the emblem there that lets him, when he uses his abilities, he gains some health back. So that's what's making it so hard for them to capitalize on that kill in the bottom lane. So as we see Indonesia put pressure there, for how long though, right? How long can they continue to put that? Because at the end of the day, Canon, just like Cerezo previously, even if you start out slow, at some point, mid-game, late game, your job is literally to be a front man and also hopefully land those penalty zones. But you can still see pressure being put here on Canon.
Eyes on XP, Cerezo and Ken. Super Ken just poking out Cannon to just go out of the total turret. Now second turtle is up though. Astro Recall and Echo connecting to Saison and Unigo. Indonesia's present as well. Finn trying to use and utilize one of those knockups. Saison has spin. Is able to Finn as well, trying to hold on with a follow-up cannon here in Cerezo. Trying to Ion taking this one. Moreno though trying to walk in from behind. Arcangel still spamming all the way. Looking that damage coming from that Appraiser, but Saison secures the kill.
Okay. A response for that, but still giving up these turtles here, or at least being taken from under their noses. Indonesia doing a great job securing early objectives. Can they maintain it? Gold, economy-wise, pretty even. Interesting pickup too for Cerezo, picking up that Sea Halberd already this early on. That was his first item that he rushed here. So his job is literally to reduce some of that sustainability, some of that healing that's going on for the Philippines here. And they're off to a good start on countering some of that. Now, Philippines, on the other hand, you know, neither team has a turret down just yet. Next big objective is that turtle about a minute away here. Things will start to fall into place because both these fights now have been 4 versus 4, right? The gold laners haven't been there. They've been farming up. Unigo. Wow.
Salken secures the kill. The advantage, half HP on to Recutiano, using that blazing duet to escape. Now Cerezo with a follow-up and the taking of the kill. Cerezo now being being bursted down by Arcangel, trying to get revenge out of the kill out of Recutiano and Unigo. Now they're forced to clear more of the waves. They're forced to answer more, taking more turrets slowly out of Indonesia.
So with that, they're able to grab a good play on the top side. Philippines might be looking to make a response though, right? They have to. This is also a big item pickup for Unigo. At this point, almost 7 minutes into the game, it's getting crucial. These first and second items. Look at this as the replay. The shot lined up from Saken, able to get the kill. That's what I was talking about. And then keep an eye on Cerezo here. Comes in with a great wild charge, flicker combination. Great setup, top side. So now, third turtle is up for the game. Do both teams go at this 5 versus 5, or they keep doing it with just part of their lineup. Here they go.
Arcangel and half an HP knock up coming in from Vin. Now being bursted, the Arcangel uses his own passive to escape that wrath. But Saison though, looking for a way to take him down. Vin now looking for an avenue. Super Ken being trapped in for Cerezo. Can't do much. Now with the damage, all just checking just to take down Super Ken. Ricariano secures the kill. That was 4 from Philippines trying to take him down.
Tough to deal with there, right? But Philippines at least gets themselves a turtle. So it's not a clean sweep for the Turtles. For Indonesia, they have some fight in them, right? That's why I was saying a lot of these items that are being picked up now at this point in the game are crucial. They'll turn the tide of some of these early skirmishes going on. Even if we take a look at this, right? Scaling department-wise for the Farsa pick on Arcangel, he has that COD. He's building up into a second item. It should be proving a point, especially when we get to the Lord fights, right? You need that burst damage available to the team here. And at the same time, you've got the slow already with Ice Queen Wand for Unigo. So as they continue to scale up, will they be able to go toe-to-toe with these objective takes in about a minute from now? Here you go. You guys can see the items as well. 2 of the items locked in here for Reclutiano. And on the other side, Beatrix only has this BOD, right? Saka needs a little bit more time to get the next item here. Probably the Malefic Roar. That's tough. Saka goes down.
Cannon securing a kill. Socken gets his own first death. Unigo though, damage now slowly scorching it through the damage. Cerezo as well. This is top lane contention.
Yeah.
They're not letting go of this top lane just yet. It's 9 minutes into the game, and they don't want to let go of the control of their own defenses. We have the first Lord to show up, and just by looking at how you want to answer this, you want to hold and just be cautious of their next steps. Cannon using the penalty zone onto 2 will be able to secure a kill here. Fellow airstrike connected onto 2 as well. Burst down, will this be the answer? Canon falling down the hands of Moreno, securing another point for Indonesia. Unigo here trying to hold off and clear something out. Philippines taking another death. That's for a cannon.
Yeah, then, okay, I was going to say he's going to land that fireball. He doesn't. So, unfortunately, but there is the Malefic Roar being picked up now by Sakin, even though he went down just a little bit ago. That'll help them shred through some of these defenses from the Philippines. Now that they secure their buffs here, they're going to have to go ahead and fight for this. Less than half health.
Saison trying to taunt in Cerezo with a follow-up from Arcangel, being trying to burst Ken and Cerezo. Now they disengage. They just want the objective. They just want the poke. Sakin taking down Unigo once again. And they just want to hold off. It's just the objective. It's just the items. And Philippines trying to get a trade. Taking down the first turret now with a fall. Finn falling down the hands of Cannon. Saison looking for a way to take this purple for himself.
Look at that. I mean, yes, the Lord went in the hands here of Indonesia, but Philippines knowing that, they try to find a counter punch themselves, some form or another. That was the first turret they were able to secure now. Here's the answer though.
Now being stunned right onto 3. Saison takes down Sakin, finally getting a kill.
Wow.
Follow up with Super Can. Cannon takes a point as well. Cannon looking for a way to chase off or push Cerezo out of the equation. But Riano with the follow-up in the trade. They take down slowly their objectives to their own hands. A push down bottom.
Again, great response here from the Philippines. Even giving up or having that Lord taken from them. They handle it quickly, they get a couple kills, they get a lead, right? They have now a very short, small lead in the gold department. They're going to be able to scale up with some of that. Now Indonesia has to be able to respond, right? Yes, they're getting these objectives. They have to continue to get that space in terms of, areas around the map. Both teams have 2 turrets down, right? Now, the big part of this, if you're Indonesia, is also, you got to get that tier 1 down in the mid lane, man, because as the next Lord comes up, that small advantage of having this turret will play a part in that Lord dance, right? They'll be able to manage some of that wave a little bit better, so that should be job number 1 before this Lord comes up. Moreno picking up an Ice Queen Wand will help pick off a little bit, slow things down, but this is what I was talking about. At some point, Arcangel will have that divine glaive that he needs, a little more bursty on this far side
Spotted
now.
down one. Super Ken receives the poke. Cannon. Saison eyeing over Super Ken and Cerezo. That's a follow. That's a flicker onto Cannon. He's still sustaining it. Now Regadiano trying to find an avenue. Where will he go in? That's a 3-man knockup. Saison takes down Cerezo. And it's a follow-up being used. Using the Federation against Philippines. Right down. Arcangel takes another kill. Socken falls down. Saison with the follow-up. Vin being taken down. 3 members out of Indonesia.
Man, Inigo just cooked Vin right there with the fireball, literally cleaning that up. And that is tough, right? It looked so good for a moment because the Minoan Fury was great. It found multiple members, but the response from the Philippines, they overlapped some of those ultimates very well. And even Recutiano able to go in with Blazing Duet. He used that Purify. He goes back in with the BMI, safely surviving that in exchange. Now that this Lord is up, still going back to the point, Indonesia still doesn't have that tier 1 in the mid lane down. This makes it a little bit harder dealing with this space to work with, right? You're gonna see them bunch up here. They have to get this information, but it's quickly taken down.
Regadiano trying to poke down Super Ken. His health is dropping by the second. Now Cannon secures another knockup. Being taunted by Saison. Now Super Ken falls down. Follow up with Cannon. Now Vin being in trouble. Appraiser's rock connected to the damage. Saison takes down Vin. 2-member down on the Lord and the push in the mid. Philippines slowly getting a grip on the push and slowly eyeing on the base of Indonesia.
Again, a win there for the Philippines, furthering that goal lead. They might just look to push it in here. Timers aren't too out of control, but unless they press the situation, this could be 1 for 1.
1 for 1. Base is open. Philippines might able to take it down Cerezo. Regadiano getting a point on the damage. Now Philippines once again pushing slowly.
Minions.
Eyeing top third here. Minions just pushing in. Can Moreno and Sakin defend Super Ken as well, but it's too much already for Indonesia. Philippines bounces back with 1 point. This best of 5.
We got a series on our hand. 1 for 1.